Welcome to Percent Practice. So today what we're going to do is you're going to have a number of problems that you're going to work on, and I'll read the problem to you, and then I'm going to give you time to pause the video and work on that problem. When you think that you have the right answer, you're going to enter it into Edpuzzle, and then you're going to hit next. Then you'll hear my voice, and I'll say, if you got, I will say the correct answer, then you can skip and move on to the next question. And I'll say, if you did not get that, why don't you watch the video and see how I got that correct answer? Okay, so our first question is, on a recent survey, 35% of students surveyed at Markham Middle School indicated they prefer orange soda to cola. If 280 students preferred orange soda, how many students were surveyed? So this is when you're going to pause the video, work on it, and enter your answer into Edpuzzle. All right, you should have got 800 students surveyed in all. So if you did not get 800, let's see how I got it. So on a recent survey, we have 35% of the students, and that 35% make up 280 students in the group. It wants to know how many students were surveyed total. So this is a three-part question. We have a part, a whole, and a percent that we need to look at. So our part, well, we're surveying the people to see whether they like orange soda or cola. So together is how many people were surveyed total, right? So we don't know the whole. That's our X. That's what we're trying to figure out. But we know that 280 preferred orange. So 280 is our part. And our percent, well, it's 35%. But we have to make sure that we transfer that into a decimal form. So that's going to be 0.35. So now with my equation, P equals percent times W, I'm going to plug in 280 as my P, my percent is 0.35, and my whole is my X. So now to get X all by itself, I need to divide each side by 0.35. And when we do that, we get that X equals 800. So we know that 800 students were surveyed in total. Okay. All right, now what I would like you to do is read this question, pause the video to answer it, and enter it as puzzle. All right, welcome back. For this one, you should have got 70%. 70% of their goal has been completed. If you did get 70%, that's fabulous. Move on to the next question. If you did not, stick around and I'll show you how to do it. So we have three things here. We have a part, a whole, and a percent again. Right? And here we have a total of 115,000 is how much they want to raise. So we have 115,000 as our whole, and we've already completed 80,500, right? And we want to find out the percent, so our percent is X. So when I plug this into my part equals percent times whole, I have 80,500 is my part equals X is my percent, so it's going to be X times my 115 with 3 zeros after, okay? Now drop my line to get X by itself. Well, I need to divide by 115,000 to make that happen. Divide by 115,000. And when we do that, we get that X equals 0.7. But be careful, we need to move that decimal place over 2 spaces so you get 70%. Okay? All right, let's look at this next one involving commission. I want you to, Miss Wall, what are you doing? Take a moment to look at this problem right here and see if you can solve it. All right, welcome back. So for this one, the real estate agent should have earned $3,900. That's $3,900 in commission. If you did not get that, let's take a look and see how I did. So we have three parts here for commission. Remember, commission, we still use part, whole, percent. Okay, so with our part, we know that's how much commission they're making, but it wants to figure out what the commission is, so that's going to be our X. Our whole is our sales. We had 130,000 in sales, and our percent is 3%, but as a decimal, remember, that's going to be 0.03. Okay, so now when I plug this into my equation, I have part equals percent times whole. I don't know my part, but that's going to be 0.03 times my 130,000. And when you do that, you get that X equals 3,900. So that's how much money they make in commission. Okay, I want you to take a moment now to work on the next problem. Right here for me, please. All right, welcome back. You should have got $9 in commission for this person. And if you didn't, stick around to figure out how I did. So we have 3 parts. A commission problem is a part whole percent problem, okay? So commission, well, it's 4.5%, but I need to change that to a decimal. So I move it 2 spaces over, and I have 0.045. Okay. So now my whole is how much we have in sales, which is 200. And I want to figure out my commission, which is X. So in my part equals percent times W, I have X equals 0.045 times my 200. And when we do that, we get that X equals 9, right? So they earn $9 in commission. All right, now I'd like you to take a look at the final problem on this page for me. Go ahead and try to solve it. Welcome back. For this one, you should have got a total of $7,400, $7,400, right, in her weekly earnings. And if you didn't get that, stick around and see how I did. Okay, so we have 2 different parts. We have 15% commission on her car sales plus $500 per week, base salary. So no matter what, she makes her salary plus her commission each week. Right, so if I look here, her salary each week is $500. It says so right here, but it doesn't say how much in commission, so I need to figure that out. So to figure that out, I know commission is a part whole percent problem, right? 15% commission is 0.15, and her total sales, the whole, was 46,000. And I need to figure out X, which is our part of how much commission she makes. So we have part equals percent times whole. So I have X equals, I'm plugging in 0.15 times my 46,000, and we get that X equals, let's see what this is, 0.15 times 46,123 is $6,900. So that's how much she makes in commission that week. So if I take her salary of $500 and add her $6,900 in commission, that gives me a total of $7,400. Okay. All right, let's flip over and look onto this next problem. One, what I would like you to do for me is read it and try solving it on your own and enter an Edpuzzle. All right, welcome back. So for this one, you should have got that it was a $5 tip because we rounded to the nearest dollar. If you didn't round to the nearest dollar, you would have got $4.50. If you didn't, stick around, let me show you how. All right, so it looks like her cab fare was $22.50 and she decided to tip 20%. How much did she give him to the nearest dollar? So I need to write down my equation for tips. So remember, tip equals my percent times our original, right? So our tip, we don't know how much that is. So we're just going to put X equals, well, my percent is 20%, but as a decimal, that's 0.20 times my original is $22.50. Multiply those two together, I get that X equals $4.50, but it said to round to the nearest dollar, so $4.50 actually rounds up to $5. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one and see how we did there. All right, welcome back. For this one, you should have got $961.93 for Ben. So what I would like to do is show you how, in case you didn't get that. If you did, you can move on to the next problem. So for this one, it's $8.99 to begin with, and there's a tax rate of 7%. So remember, tax is equal to our percent times our original. So we have that our tax is 7%, which is 0.07 times $8.99. Right? So when we do that, we have 0.07 times $8.99. We get $62.93. So our tax is $62.93, but remember in our original problem, $899. So we have to take the original cost, the $899, and add it to the $62.93. And when we do that, we get a total of $961.93. So be careful when they're asking if they paid for the total with tax or if they're looking for just how much they paid in tax. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this next one. I want you to try to solve this. Does Greg have enough money for his concessions or not? And put your answer into the puzzle. All right, welcome back. You should have got that the total with tax for his candy was $14.09, which is not enough for him to buy it because he only has $14 in his pocket and he needs the extra 9 cents with tax included in order to buy what he wanted. Let's see how I got that. So he has $14 to spend. He has a large popcorn and a box of candy and a soda that totals $12.99. If the tax is 8.5%, does he have enough money for the concessions? So we need to figure out, well, the total, right, is the original price plus the percent times the original price. Now remember, this percent times the original price, this is our tax amount. So it's kind of like we're taking the original price and adding our tax to it, only we're doing it all in one step. So we have our total is going to be, it costs $12.99 for the concessions plus our percent. Well, 8.5 as a percent, remember we need to move that decimal place 2 over. So it's going to be 0.085 times your $12.99. So when I plug all of this into the calculator, I get that my total is $14.09. So with the tax included, which is right here, he's going to spend $14.09. Does he have enough money? No, he is 9 cents short. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching.